It's the football show, people. I feel like I should be breathing into a brown paper bag. What a day. Cookies, how you doing, buddy? Brought to you by KG Law, by the way. You all right? I know you had a commute. You're flying by the seat of your pants today. You're doing Lions pre. Now you're right here with us.
You're going to shepherd me through a busy day in the NFL today. I'm excited.
Yeah, we still have Broncos and Chiefs. And by the way, the script writers are doing their best. I'll explain later. But let's get to our 5 big things. We do not have time to waste. And what I want to do is a courtesy. Somehow thousands of people watch us do this live. I want to make sure we get people a pee break before Lions-Eagles. We're going to just try to be a shade under 45 minutes. Sound good?
Perfect.
All right. Fire Mike McDaniel to launch an investigation. That's number 1. We started today, Ola, in Madrid. I just need the king of analytics over here, this guy with his perfectly coiffed toupee. Explain. It looks gorgeous today. Mike McDaniel. 13-13, minute 44 to go. Washington just used their last timeout. You've got 4th and 1 from the 1. You kick the field goal, you take the lead, and we leave, right? Nope. He goes for it, gets stoned. Washington drives the field. Thank God they miss a kick, and the Finns win in overtime. King of analytics. That was Jonte Porter level ridiculousness. You can't do that.
Are we really starting with this? He did the right thing. The right thing. And I'll explain it. You throw your pen. We're going to start doing this. We'll go toe-to-toe. Mike, if he does what you want, he kicks the field goal. They go up 3. Washington likely ties the game. They get better field position. They already got into field goal range in a minute and change. So the 20 to 30-yard boost likely gets them in a position to tie. It's a yard. If you can't get a yard, you don't deserve to win the game. You're playing for a touchdown there, not a field goal.
You're facing a backup quarterback. Your defense has played good that day. And
Mike, that quarterback got him in field goal range anyway from the 1.
Jim, you're using what happened afterwards to dictate the decision. Yes, you are. You're saying they drove down the field, ergo they would have done it had I had the – look.
It was a makeable field goal. The other team only needs a field goal. If you settle for a field goal, you box them into scoring a touchdown when you're a yard out. The chances of scoring from a yard out are great. Now, you're going to say because they didn't get it. No, it's a great call. It's a yard.
Oh, I'm taking the lead. I'm not going to not take the lead. That's it.
It's a 3-point lead with enough time for the other team to tie you.
Listen, the Finns won, so it doesn't matter, I guess. That was one of the most, honestly, Chauncey's poker table. I want an investigation. That was ridiculous by McDaniel. It was inexplicable. It was a Travis Shamockery. All right, we'll go to number 2. Let's see if we're going to go over 2 on this. Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Bills a lot, Bucs a lot, 44-32. It felt like TCU, Texas Tech. Here's what I took away from the game, brother. Empty calories. You're neither of these teams is winning anything of substance playing this way. Okay? Neither team really did anything I was impressed with. The third down defense, which is the absolute beginning, middle, and end of playoff football, atrocious by both of these teams. And yes, Buffalo, you have Josh Allen. He's Superman. We know. Do better. This rebuilt defense blows. They had a couple critical plays. Baker threw a bad interception, but overall, Jim, special teams breakdowns, penalties everywhere, turnovers both ways. If you're going to rely on Josh Allen with 6 touchdowns to negate the 2 turnovers, and for Tampa, forget it. It's the same Todd Bowles crap we watch every year. What do you have Yaya Diaby 50 yards downfield in coverage? He's a pass rusher. Nonsense.
Bucs a tier 2 team in the NFC.
Yes.
Bills giving up 200 yards on the ground. That's oh boy, we're not getting good enough on defense. If it's going to be that routine again, they're not going to make a Super Bowl again. And
that was Sean Tucker. Shout out Syracuse. That was not Bucky Irving. Like that was Sean Tucker. I found it to be empty, and I want to embrace both these teams. I love both the quarterbacks. I think I root for Bills fans. Like, I don't think the Bills are Super Bowl good. That defense is not going to win a Super Bowl.
Today, vintage Josh Allen, right? He gives you 2 turnovers, including a shot put from his own end zone, but he scores 6 touchdowns. The problem is when you get in the playoffs, you don't want him to have to do that.
Yeah, and again, you can't be Superman all the way through. It's not going to work. Let's go to our third deal. Packers win, but oh boy, oy vey. 27-20. Packers are broken. First of all, can we just do the headline? They win 27-20. 9. I sound like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Bueller. 9 drops by the Pack. And I know the wind was swirling, whatever. Further, Romeo Dobbs was on that Jonte Porter list too, okay? Some of his drops were inexplicable. Jordan Love had 11 incompletions. 9 were drops. The issue for the game for me, for the Packers, we talk about this all the time. They don't look right. They allowed the Giants with famous Jameis to possess the football for 36 minutes. Jim, the Giants at one point ran 15 consecutive offensive plays. I think that's called a drive. So it doesn't look right. Josh Jacobs left the game with a knee injury. Jordan Love left the game, came back. I don't know if he went to see Dr. Feelgood or what happened there with the left shoulder. But overall, Jim, I want to knock the Pack down a peg. Am I wrong to do that in a win?
No, because the standard isn't just win regular season games. There are certain NFL teams where, they're going to be judged in the playoffs, and the Packers are going to be judged by what they do in the postseason, but they won't get Tucker Kraft back. They don't have viable weapons down the field that Love can rely on. And that's coming from someone who's not a Love defender. No, they've got serious issues.
No, they do. And I'll say it again. Look, the Packers and Eagles, and obviously we'll get to Lions Eagles later. They have play calling issues. Something is just not right with what LaFleur is doing and how this offense is executing, because again, they move their food around the plate. There's just nothing there. And I do wonder if what you hit on, maybe that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe Tucker Kraft being gone is just, this is who they are. They're just wild card good. I don't know, man. Even if they win the North, I feel like you and I are going to be picking against them. I really do. I do not see us backing them.
The saving grace is the pass rush they have, but I don't know that that's enough to win them a Super Bowl.
No. All right, Bears. This is like the curious case of Benjamin Button. I don't know what to do with this team. So the Bears win 19-17, but it's not that simple. They were dominating all day. And I'm not telling you they lit the world on fire. They didn't. Minnesota's defense is actually pretty damn good, right? But you're up in this game. I think you were up 16-3 at one point. You spit the bit. You blow the lead. J.J. McCarthy's awful. We'll talk about him in a second. But what did they do again? If you want to call it lucky, cardiac Bears, that's fine. There's also another side to it where you go, well, wait a minute. They're making winning plays. They got the special teams play. They got into field goal range. And in typical Bears fashion, they would have missed the 49-yard field goal. They didn't. They walk off the Vikings in Minnesota. Jim, I don't know what to do with them. More lucky or more learning how to win? What are we making of the Bears here? Who, by the way, with a Lions loss will be in first place. What?
Yeah, currently first place in the North. 7 of the last 8 games they've won. Now you could point out it's the Raiders, Commanders, Saints, Cowboys, Bengals, Giants, and 9 leading the Minnesota Vikings. He was terrible today. Look, if you're honest, Bears fans, 16 of 32 for Caleb. Doesn't throw for 200 yards. Like, they're not looking good, and they're winning. So I just think it's an honest assessment of you're not going to take wins away. The wins are going to get them in the playoffs, but they're not as good as their record shows.
And the gauntlet's about to start. They go to Philly. They go to Green Bay. You'll get another game against the Lions. The heavies are about to hit. Look, hey, if you told me Ben Johnson was going to Chicago and taking them to playoffs in year 1, that's a massive step forward. But I have a hard time buying into a lot of what I watch, because you're right, Jim. McCarthy, let's just get to this now. I mean, he had 75 yards passing going into the fourth quarter and barely 50%. And guys, hey, 1990, when I didn't have any gray hair, 50% was acceptable. 50% in 2025 is like the Mendoza line. I mean, that's just impossibly bad. And Jim, when you watch, this is the thing, it's not all incompletions are equal. A lot of times in the NFL, these windows are tight. If you throw the football in proximity, I don't knock the quarterback, but it's even more finite. We're spoiled here with a guy like Jared Goff, who's hyper accurate, right? Where you're putting it to the inside, to the outside. I'm going to put it low and away where only my guy can get it. Look, sometimes shit happens. The point with JJ is it's like whiz bang pow. I mean, if you can't throw it where Justin Jefferson can just get a hand on it, that's unspeakably bad. Couple times today, Jim, the announcers not sure where that one was who that was meant for. He looks awful.
Well, and Mike, over the last 2 seasons, we've watched the Vikings take dead quarterbacks and resurrect them, right?
Yeah.
Like, this offense is supposed to make it easy for quarterbacks. So whether it's a Sam Darnold or even like a Josh Dobbs that was playing a little bit a couple years ago,
What about the Nick Mullins era?
Nick Mullins. So if these stiffs can look decent, what does it say about JJ that he doesn't?
See, that's the thing. Because if people are going to go, well, you guys are being hypercritical. Well, hold on. Yes, he's young. And yes, he doesn't have a lot of experience. Fair, all fair. But he was placed into a Super Bowl roster. This isn't Cam Ward, who's currently playing with the East Carolina Pirates, aka the Tennessee Titans. So there has to be a harsher curve. Jim, an average quarterback, Minnesota's playoff team. Period.
Well, and
like, it's no hesitation.
And if this is who he is, they shouldn't have taken him where they did.
Well, and also, look, it just shit hits different when you don't know the other team's plays. Why don't we just go? I'm sorry. Come on. Just let me live. Okay. The Giants suck.
I know.
Rams. Can we talk about it? 21-19. Now they screw our bet, which was Rams minus the 3.5, covering all day. 14-3. Jim, for a point in time, you ready for this one? Between the second and third quarters, 21 of 24 minutes of TOP was Seattle. Somehow, Rams are still up 21-12. Oh, wait, I know. Ginger madness. Sam Darnold with 1, 2, 3, 4 interceptions because he can't win big games. They backdoor us. We lose the bet. But the Rams win. They want a street fight. They can do it different ways. Byron Young is playing out of his gourd. Look, I'm okay saying they're the best team in the NFC, but I have one fatal flaw. But I'm going to wait for that. Are you at least in a spot you're comfortable putting them as best in the NFC now?
Yeah, I think I said it a couple weeks ago, and this is a huge win for them. Probably their biggest win of the year. It's a defense. It's not just Stafford and all the toys and McVay. It's a defense that got stops, turnovers, red zone stops. Yeah, I think they're the best team in the NFC. I know they lost to the Eagles toe-to-toe. They got a field goal block. They had 2 field goals that they couldn't execute. I really do think they're the better team as we look forward.
Fatal flaw. You ready?
What's the fatal flaw?
And I view the Rams, and we're going to do this on Cash the Ticket. I'm sure Oregon are the same thing. At some point, the Rams are going to run into somebody, just like Oregon is, that is going to run the ball right in their fucking face.
Sure.
And I'm telling you, there were moments today. Seattle got it going. Now, red zone-wise, Seattle faltered. Once again, when you have Bobby Flay as your quarterback. The point is,
and it could be Detroit in the middle of December. That goes out there and runs the ball.
I'm trying to build a little hope there for you. For Seattle, can I just offer you this? Seattle is the Bears' wealthy uncle.
Yes.
They beat up on a bunch of shit, and this is who they are. They're going to be competitive. That defense is going to play good ball. But I'm sorry, whether it's this game here, when you got to win a big game, Sam Darnold is not going to be the better quarterback. You're going to face someone better, and I just think it's the same as when he was in Minnesota. He'll get you only so far, but in these chips down games, dude, he's not that guy.
Yeah, I agree with it.
Okay.
They're a playoff team, but beyond that, like the Bears, I don't see anything else.
All right, we'll get a word from the sponsors. We'll hit the rundown, do a little extended preview for our people in Detroit who apparently thousands enjoy watching this, so we appreciate the shit out of that, guys. And we'll get you to your game, but let's get a word from our people.
All right, tell you about KG Law. Someone you care about's injured in a car accident, you need KG Law. Lawrence KG and KG Law specialize in car accidents. You're going to get that personal attention to detail from someone who cares about you. Let me tell you about Lawrence KG. He's a Detroiter. He's a down-to-earth dude, and he's someone you want in your corner. He built his business doing things the right way and delivering for his clients. KG Law's won millions of dollars, 98% success rate. Check him out, 877-KG-CARES. It's right there on the screen, K-A-J-Y, KGCares.com.
All right, brother. Hungry Howie's brings us the rundown. Steelers, Bengals, couple notes. Rodgers got hurt, left hand. One of the funniest things I've ever watched is the attempt at a tush push where Aaron Rodgers does nothing. I don't know if you saw this, 34-12. Yes. He stands there. He doesn't even attempt in the pushing. He's like the dad supervising what the hell's going on. It's truly remarkable.
Why is he on the field? Put some tight end in there to push him.
I'm glad you said this. Like Seattle does that with A.J. Barner.
Yeah,
the kid who played in Michigan, and it's fine because he's physically imposing. Like you couldn't get what's the tight end they drafted from Georgia? The kid who's like 6'8". He did.
Washington.
Washington.
Yes.
He killed a guy today, by the way. The police are looking for him. That stiff arm, he sent that guy into the state of Kentucky. But look, the Steelers do it again. The Bengals are god-awful. Flacco threw one of the worst interceptions of the day. You know you're bad when both your turnovers go back the other way for touchdowns. You had a fumble 6. You had a pick 6. I'm not going to go crazy about it. Steelers win. I still think Jim's going to be right, guys. They've got 2 against the Ravens, and there ain't no way I can pick that team to beat the Ravens, even though the Ravens weren't any great shakes. But for a week, they got the – what do you want me to say? I can't –
afloat.
Yeah, they stay afloat, but it wasn't impressive any way, shape, or form. Chargers, Jags. We had Jags +3. This was a snooze fest. This was awesome. It was a complete disaster for the Chargers. And it was like everything bad about this team in one game, including they can't protect Justin Herbert. He threw for an astonishing 81 yards. He threw a pick. He was under duress all day. And he got flatlined a couple of times. Look, here's my thing with the Chargers, all right? And then we'll get to whatever Jacksonville is. Is it crazy I can see a scenario, the Chargers go into full collapse mode now that Joe Alt's done for the year, they don't make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Or is that overreacting?
No. What are they, 7-3 right now?
7-4.
7-4 with the loss now, right? And they go into the bye week, but there really aren't any solutions up front. I mean, they made the trade. I don't think it's enough.
No.
Look, they banked 7 wins. How many wins gets you in the AFC? 10?
I think you got to get 10.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's a guarantee down the stretch. Okay. I really don't.
I'm worried. And listen, look, I think Harbaugh is an incredible NFL coach, but he's had this taken away from him, right? Loss of both tackles, loss of both running backs. And look, here was the concerning part to me. Jacksonville bullied them from the time they got off the bus. 150 yards split between Bashaw Tutin and ATN. And it was physical. And it was like you felt like every carry, it was 2nd and 3, and you're going, oh, my God, they're getting bully balled. It was a good performance for Jacksonville, but and we liked them today. I'm not going to buy. I know better than to buy that Ponzi scheme.
No, be careful there.
But for today, it was a blessing.
Chargers looked like a team that was looking ahead of their bye week. Late bye, game goes south, power it down. I mean, Herbert didn't finish the game. They put Trey Lance in. They just said, to hell with it. We're getting to our bye week.
He was getting crushed. Texans at Titans. I feel like we do this every week. A game was played between 2 teams. It'll be a footnote in NFL history. I just have a ton of respect for D'Amico Ryans. I do. The fact that this team, with the injuries they've dealt with losing your starting quarterback for multiple weeks, not able to protect, and you've crawled back to 5-5 on the backs of this defense that is just ferocious. Will Anderson is incredible. For the Titans, Jim, it's the same story. They could barely get to 200 yards of offense. They couldn't run it for anything. Look, you take the wins the way you can get them. 5-5. We just talked about the Chargers doing, this. We talk about the Steelers doing this. Somebody's got to do this. I don't know. Maybe.
Houston plays the Chargers down the stretch. Now, Houston's got a gauntlet coming up, but that's one they have to win to take advantage of a team on the way down.
Yeah, Buffalo next week, by the way. So, again, if you take the run away, you make the Bills one-dimensional, but they need their offense. You need Stroud.
Stroud back, yep.
Atlanta Panthers, I just – allow me a minute. No. I just listen to me now. We didn't have nothing on this game. This wasn't a pick. This was nothing. But I said to you, there's no world where Captain Capri Pants should be favored over anybody, which is Raheem Morris. And there's no world we wanted the Panthers, who just got crushed by the Saints. Jim, this is just complete unprofessional loser nonsense by Atlanta. And the box score doesn't even tell you the story of this game. You cannot allow Buddy the Elf to throw for 448 Christmas yards. You can't. Bryce Young takes a month to throw for 448 yards, okay? Like the Army sweatshirt I'm wearing. It takes an Army quarterback a month to amass 448. Raheem Morris is an alleged defensive expert. Please, for the love of all that's holy on this planet and life on others, fire this blank stare idiot. I don't know how. There are 2 teams in this league. They need to be burnt to the ground. Complete reset culturally because they are losers. It's Atlanta and Arizona. I am so angry for like the 14 Atlanta fans out there. Holy shit. 448 to Buddy the Elf? Are you kidding me?
The signature game of Bryce Young's career to date.
You guys were wide open everywhere. Everywhere.
Two things. One, is that from the new Army stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
I couldn't use it. I couldn't.
It looks incredible. You wasted no time. Looks incredible.
You cannot send me the promo email, Army, and then on Thursday, what do you want me to do? It had to happen.
Second point that has nothing to do with Army football. Back to Atlanta. I don't want to hear about how Penix gets hurt. When you have a 2-touchdown lead at home, It should play into your strength, which is running the ball and rushing the passer. It was put on a silver platter, and they blew it. Even with the ball first in overtime, they blew it.
Because they're losers. Losing has crept in with them the way it crept in for a long time with the Lions. I'm telling you, they need a complete teardown.
Swept in the season series with the Panthers. Oof.
Oh, that's grotesque. Niners, Cardinals. Listen, no Purdy slander. He looked razor sharp. Really nice return for him. You can see the difference. And you can check this, Jim. For his career, when Purdy and Kittle are together, the production you get from George Kittle, night and day. And I know, hey, look, Mac Jones played really well. But this relationship Purdy has with Kittle, it opens the whole offense up. But you want a power stat as they bomb the Cardinals? And then I've got a couple things for you about the Cardinals, another loser organization. Do you know the Niners are the only team in football who is, what is it, week 11 now, right? Mm-hmm. Only team in football who has not had a rush of longer than 20 yards. And you have Christian McCaffrey.
Well, I think they had one today.
That's what I'm saying. They entered the game.
Yeah.
How did we not know that stat? I feel like
so they slip it in on the broadcast. They go, that's their longest run of the year. And I'm going, it wasn't some 60 or 70 yard run. What do you mean it's their longest run of the year?
It always reminds me of when I was younger, and I'm not being smarmy. Do you remember Edgerrin James? Like, yes. I know that's a long time ago for you.
Yes, Colts Edgerrin James.
Somehow I imagine you putting together your Legos.
Miami Edgerrin James.
Okay. Yes. But like Edgerrin James never had a run longer than 40 yards as a pro, but he was like a Hall of Fame running back. Like if Edgerrin James had a 20-yard run, it was like a celebration. But every carry was like 4.6 yards.
Yeah.
So it's like that kind of thing where you're like, how is it possible? Now, in the unprofessional bullshit department, the Arizona Cardinals, 11 penalties in the first half. I stopped tracking this when they hit their 16th penalty with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Oh my
God. I can't. How can you, first of all, how can you coach the team and tolerate it? Let's just go to ownership level. Honestly, you're fired. I don't even want to speak to you. That is such nonsense. You're not going to beat anybody playing that way. Anybody.
Right.
Again, they are toxic, complete teardown. Contract them. I wish it was Europe. Relegate them. Give me the Birmingham Brahmers or whatever out of the USFL.
The Argonauts, get them in here. 17 penalties. They finished for 130 yards.
Really cleaned it up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, when the game was over. Look, if they're going to move on from Kyler Murray, why don't you just do a whole reset at that?
That's what I'm saying. And by the way, I've come to grips with this. Niners are making the playoffs.
Well, okay, real quick. Bears-Niners are going to play a primetime game. That's for the last playoff spot, it feels like.
It is. And look, despite their injuries, despite it all, you know what you're getting on offense. And if they have the trio of Purdy, McCaffrey, Kittle, the wide receivers are very secondary pieces, but Shanahan's just going to be able to produce. I can't believe the zombie Niners are going to do it again. Ravens-Browns, that game just finished up 23-16. We had Browns plus 7.5, so that was cute, I guess. But my God, I never felt great about it. Can I give you a word on Myles Garrett's greatness? Today, he decided he was going to be extra violent. 4 sacks. He's at a 5-sack game. He's now got like 16 sacks. It's week 11. Also, he set the NFL record for consecutive seasons with at least 12 sacks. He broke the record of someone you may have heard of known as Lawrence Taylor or LT. LT had 5 of those years in a row. Myles Garrett's now at 6. Now, here's the sad part. Doesn't mean shit because he's doing it in a vacuum, this damn team. The Browns have the lead the whole day. spit the bit, give up the last 10 of the game. Dylan Gabriel, head injury. Shadur Sanders comes in, the crowd goes wild, and then I think they realized that Shadur Sanders held onto the ball 8 million seconds, took a bunch of sacks, threw a terrible interception, threw it all, had a chance to somehow tie the game, couldn't do it. Lamar would have picked 6, a sloppy fumble by the team. I don't know. Look, it's the same as the Steelers, right? Spider-Man meme. Survive, move on. I'm leaning your way. I think you're going to be right. I think the Ravens will win. But this is a lesson. You don't just waltz in the division on the road and just blow teams out. It's hard to do, man.
Far from the Ravens' finest hour. Shadur, by the way, 4 for 16 passing, sacked twice and had to pick. So for everybody,
all the fans were doing the gesture with the watches.
Hey, for everybody who's been begging to see the guy, maybe there's a reason he fell in the draft. Maybe there's a reason the coaching staff wasn't putting him out there. Because they had the lead, they had ample opportunities. One last thing on this game, and we opened this show talking about dumb coaching decision, just take the points. Are you going to say that Baltimore effed up by going for it on 4th down when they scored the touchdown? 4th and 1, they didn't kick the field goal. They played for a score. Shadur gets them into field goal range, but they need a touchdown. Baltimore proved the point from the first game. You play for the touchdown when it's a yard.
But it's also a little bit of a different scenario when you're Baltimore with Lamar and Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews. You're the Miami Dolphins, man. You're homeless. You can't complain that the mattress has piss stains on it. You're lucky you have a mattress.
No, but I think it supports. I'm playing for a touchdown. I kick a field goal. The other team's got time to tie me up with a field goal. I'm playing.
The other angle would be I'm facing Shadur Sanders. It shouldn't matter, but Baltimore's zombie defense, I'll tell you. Chiefs Broncos. This one just wrapped up. Jim, I'll give you the long and short of this deal, but you're our resident Chiefs, CEO. You are Baghdad Bob when it comes to the Chiefs. Everything is fine, but we got to talk about this. So look, defensive slog, 22-19 final. Look, largely outside of one bomb to Thornton, they kept everything underneath. They pressured the absolute hell out of Patrick Mahomes. And when the moment happened, you got a red zone pick. That's a nice job by the Denver defense. And Bo Nix got the football back. They blitzed Mahomes, forced them off the field. They drive the field, kick the game-winning field goal. So here's my question. It first of all, felt like a playoff game. Is this a bit of a changing of the guard? Kansas City falling to 5-5. They are not going to win this division, Jim. And I do think they're in danger of missing the playoffs.
As it stands today, they're out of the playoffs, tied for the 8th spot. They're behind Jacksonville, who beat them, right? Toe-to-toe?
Yes, they have the tiebreaker. Yeah, they beat them on Monday Night Football.
Unbelievable. But they're in real danger here. I know Romo made the point on the broadcast that every year for the Chiefs under Mahomes starts in the AFC Championship. They make the AFC Championship every year. They got to make the playoffs first. Like, this is a very real problem right now. Yeah. Their next game will be against the Colts, who are off a bye. The Chiefs they're running out of time.
Yes. And by the way, I want to give Denver full flowers, full credit, because they not only beat the Chiefs, but they beat their team of scriptwriters. 147 yards in penalty yardage assessed against Denver.
Denver, who, by the way, has won 8 in a row for Denver. I think with them in New England, we're running into, hey, they got the best record at 9-2. We don't know what to do with them. Mike, they have passed all the tests they can in the regular season. They've beaten heavyweights like Buffalo and Kansas City. The only thing left for them to prove is come playoff time.
Nailed it. Not just a little changing of the guard. All right, word from our sponsors, and then we got to get Jim in the spotlight here for Lions Eagles. Listen. Hungry Howie's got you covered football. 51% off any large, round, original, or thin crust pizza with any of your favorite toppings. So whether you're a minimalist, just like a cheese pizza, or you want to load this thing up, whatever it is, 51% off. All you need to do, go to hungryhowies.com, order up a large round for carryout, and you're good. No strings attached, no BS, no copious legal. 51% off. Go to hungryhowies.com before it's too late. It's Hungry Howie's. All right, let's get this Lions preview in. Moran Chevrolet bringing us this. Jim, I ran into something Friday. I lost my temper. I didn't mean to. I was in a good mood. I just couldn't believe I was having this argument. So I'm going to ask you. You are the commandant of the Honolulu Blue Brigade. Is this a big game or just another game? Because I had people yelling at me because I said, no, this is a big game. And here's what's on the line. A win, you're in the mix for the 1 seed. A loss, you're not getting the 1 seed. Why? Math. You'll be 3 games out with 7 to go. I also said it's kind of a prove it spot. And I used a stat people didn't like because it wasn't friendly to the Lions. And I said, okay, well, you can get mad at me, but it can't just be a big game when you win. It doesn't work that way.
Can I venture a theory here? The common denominator, if you will, the people saying it's not a big game are probably people who don't believe the Lions are winning this game. I can't imagine there are many people who believe the Lions are winning who are going to prematurely tamp down what's going to happen. And I am very nervous about how this goes. I think it's a coin flip. We can preview it,
Sure.
But there is no doubt about it. This is a big game. If the Lions win, they are in the thick of a race for the 1 seed. Whether you value it or not, I do. If you lose, you're a notch below. If you lose, you aren't getting the 1 seed. They're going to be 2.5. You said 3. Round up, it's 3 games back.
Yeah, you know what I meant.
Can still win the division, can still have a home playoff game.
Of course.
But Mike, there's going to be a big referendum on who they are. They don't win this game after not beating Kansas City, not beating Green Bay, getting overwhelmed by the front of the Minnesota Vikings. There's going to be a real question about, are they just good and not great? Can they live up to the Super Bowl expectations that they themselves and we as fans have set for them? And if they lose this game, you have to move them down, just because if they win, you would move them up. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth.
I'm thrilled you have that opinion. That's the fun of sports. That's why you want your team to be good. So you get to play in games like this. And look, I have no idea what the hell's going to happen tonight. Like, you and I went head to head for fun. I don't have some big, huge opinion. The Lions are losing. No, I mean, I do think this is a tough spot. And I do think from a matchup standpoint, we'll get to that. There's some things I want to see. But like, this was the stat I used a little bit, and people got all pissed. And I said, okay, you're 4-0 when facing one of the 10 worst defenses in the league. Well, that means you're 2-3 against actual teams. Right. Like, it's okay to just say we've done our job against the dregs of the league and we've beaten them like a drum. Like, against bottom 10 defenses, you average 42 points a game. What the hell are you doing against the rest? That's the problem. So this is kind of a, hey, let's show people we're not that team. We're going to match up against Vic Fangio and a good defense, and we're going to go to war. And we're going to, like, that's, I just don't understand how we've arrived here where it's like everyone has waited for this team to be awesome, and they are. Like, if they lose tonight, let's say they get their asses kicked, they're still really good. They're still a playoff team.
Anybody downplaying this game's a weenie. I mean, you're a weenie. You're a non-competitive weenie. Your team's playing in a big game on Sunday night. By the way, point spread's under a field goal. Go out and flex on them. Mike, I do disagree with one thing I heard you say this week.
Okay.
You said they don't have a signature win. They were bigger dogs going to Baltimore. And I remember at the time how impactful it was to sack Lamar 7 times. Go into Baltimore and go sledgehammer to their front repeatedly. Now, you want to say they have to stack signature wins? That's the camp I'm in, because I need to see consistency. Consistency, you got to do it every single week in the playoffs with no oops-a-daisies or false steps. So I need to see them stack it. Now, because they did it in Baltimore, I think that blueprint plays, containing a mobile quarterback, stopping a 2-headed monster, playing 3 linebackers, it's what's giving me optimism, right? I look at it and think Dan Campbell, some of the, not just putting up 44 points, but resetting and recalibrating the offense, that has me feeling good. My issue is, to get into a little bit of the X's and O's here, Jalen Carter against the interior of this Lions offensive line. If they aren't winning on early downs, it's going to set Goff up to set the ball into harm's way, to turn the ball over. Hurts doesn't turn it over. You know, we can talk about what the Eagles aren't doing this year, and they're not the dominant team they were last year, but they are winning ugly. And that's all that matters, is winning this football game. So I'm incredibly nervous about how this is going to go. I need to know that the Lions can win up front on early downs to neutralize Jalen Carter, because then everything else opens up.
Well, no, and all the Eagles do have is signature wins. It's bizarro world, because you don't even feel good coming out of them. I mean, look at that Packer game last Monday night. You're like, am I supposed to feel good about that?
Right.
Like, so it was 2 matchups. You just hinted at one. Lions interior line versus the Eagles interior. And I want to see Dan Campbell week 2 play calling versus Vic Fangio, who, look, Guy's got about 8. I'm pretty sure Vic Fangio graduated with a Brontosaurus. The guy's got 100 years of NFL experience. And okay, now let's kind of see the chess pieces move around. Here's the other one too, just because we talked about it so much. Like, I wanted Jalen Phillips bad at the deadline. He was great for Philly on Monday night, and they're moving him around. Just like when you're watching tonight, keep your eye on him, guys. They're doing lots of stuff with him. He produced pressures galore last week. Fangio clearly got the guy he wanted.
I don't want to oversimplify. Fangio's defense typically is one where they want to keep everything in front of them, and the Lions can operate hopefully over the middle, but it's where you're going to miss Sam Laporta. It's St. Brown over the middle. Can you get Brock Wright? Can you get J-Mo on a line, or not J-Mo? Can you get Gibbs on a linebacker? J-Mo on some crossers? If you can soften them up, kill them with Jared Goff's accuracy over the middle, I think that's one area you look to see with Fangio's defense.
Yeah, and it's not like Philly's going to run away. Saquon's not averaging 4 yards a carry. Their passing game has been very stop and start. Do I think you could see like an A.J. Brown literary classic tonight? I don't know. That just seems to be the way things work.
Like, think about it. There's no Kirby Joseph. This knee thing's starting to freak me out. It continues to keep him out of practice, let alone games.
Hey, shocker. No Marcus Davenport.
We're good.
Jeez.
Look, they have been producing pressure, but Hurts can extend plays, and they don't have Kirby Joseph deep part of the field. They don't have DJ Reed still at corner 1 and no Terrion Arnold at corner 2. It could be a spot for A.J. Brown, who met with the owner. Feed me the rock, right? What they say, squeaky wheel gets the oil. He could be a big day for A.J. Brown.
All right, we've got the C4 question of the week is going to be a Lions question, so we'll just keep this rolling. Let's get a word from our sponsor and then dive into the question. Brand Chevrolet, it is November. It is football season, tailgates, hunting trips, and more. The Red Tag sales event is happening now at Moran Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 selling Chevy dealer. Level up your tailgate and your weekend adventures in a 26 Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cab. Perfect for hauling gear or maybe your game day stuff, or hell, maybe you're just driving to the middle of the woods. I don't know, $189 a month, 0 down, GM employees and immediate family members. You need something more compact. They got the 26 Equinox LT, $279 a month, $999 down for GM employees and immediate family members. They make it simple. They make it stress-free. Go to MoranExpress.com or stop by on Gratiot, just north of 15 Mile in Clinton Township. Moran Chevrolet, where you always get the best price, period. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. All right, C4 question of the week brought to you by C4 Ultimate, available in 3 flavors. Sarah from Warren writes in, should Dan Campbell continue to be the play caller past this season? I don't know. We're 1 week in. Look, and we all do this. I'm as guilty as anybody. Part of the fun of the NFL, we overreact. It's a week-to-week league, etc. Look, I think best practice long-term is getting an offensive coordinator in to call the plays so Dan Campbell can be more of the CEO that he's done such a fabulous job. We've seen what he's done when Ben Johnson was here, but I'm also not against him continuing the play calling. But I think a lot of this has to do with, okay, how do the next 7-8 games go? And I don't have a great answer for it.
Yeah, let me push back and say, why would this not be the optimal way to do it? It's what most teams do. Like, I think on the surface, you'd wonder about game operation, right? Where is this taking away from if he has to call the plays? But then I dug a little deeper, and now with Dan Quinn, the latest head coach to take over play calling duties, 19 of the 32 coaches call their side of the ball. So this is the norm. And then I dug even deeper. Okay, but are these good teams, bad teams? 10 of the 14 playoff teams, the head coach is calling at least one side of the ball and can still be the CEO, and the team can still win a lot of games.
If he's really good at it, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
But what I don't want to do is have him be a little touch and go, and we just go, well, I don't feel like letting somebody else have a crack. If he's really good at it, I don't have much trepidation.
I would go a step further. If he's good at it, it becomes an institutional strength, because now you're not worried about losing offensive coordinators every 2 seasons. Dan's not going anywhere, and he has the reins, and he knows the personnel and the offense and the style of football that wins.
You protect this man at all costs. Let's get a word from our sponsor, Preview Monday Night, and get people to their football.
If you have a question for us, get to a participating 7-Eleven and look for the QR code at the C4 Energy display or on the cooler. Scan the QR code and ask the question. For a list of participating 7-Eleven, Find the list and contest details at 971theticket.com. C4 Energy is the energy drink you need. 200 milligrams of good caffeine in the performance, or 300 in the ultimate energy. And C4, it's not your traditional energy drink. It's next level, sugar-free, made for athletes. They don't fill it with junk. And C4 just rolled out their Jim Costa approved Jolly Rancher flavors, and they study everything. And a bunch of things I can't pronounce are in it, but it's all good. C4 Performance Energy or the Ultimate Energy at 7-Eleven. And remember, if you got a question, get to a 7-Eleven, find the QR code at the C4 Energy display today.
All right, Crocodile Cloth, Monday Night Football preview, because Sunday night is the Lions. It is the Cowboys laying 3.5. They travel to Vegas. Yeah, not an ideal game. Look, I actually lean Vegas here a little bit. I don't believe Quinnen Williams is all of a sudden going to fix everything that ails them. I don't think that Logan Wilson, who was benched in Cincinnati, is going to turn into Zach Thomas or Ray Lewis. I figure Raiders could run the ball a little bit. Geno can't be this bad. Probably is going to be more of a shootout game anyways. But did you have a lean here? Like, this is an atrocious game for a Monday night game.
Yeah, it's funny. We show the graphics on the screen. 3-5-1 against 2-7. Now, look, two iconic franchises, right? The Raiders and the Cowboys. And that's not what you're getting on Monday night. It's two bad football teams. My thought is you can beat the Cowboys down the field. I don't know who the Raider receivers are that are getting it done.
It's all kids now.
Yeah.
They got the kid for, what is it, TCU, Jack Beck or Besh or whatever his name is.
They took him in the last draft. He's a rookie. And look, you can come up with names. They don't have a lot of proven threats down the field. So
when did Brock Bowers start looking like he's 45 with 3 kids?
Well, because he has no hair.
That's what I'm saying. When did that happen? I never knew he was bald at Georgia. Then he took his helmet off and he looked like Al Bundy. I go, what the hell happened here?
Look, if you want to tell me you like north of a field goal because, hey, it's two bad football teams and points matter, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, that's pretty much beginning, middle, and end. All right, let Crocodile Cloth take us out, and let's get everybody to the game they care about.
All right, your Sunday Night Football preview is always brought to you by Crocodile Cloth. You've heard us talking about this. This is the do-it-all solution for life's toughest messes. Crocodile Cloth Grill. Yeah, I know there's snow on the ground, but if you're one of these guys that likes to grill all year, pick up the Crocodile Cloth or get yourself stocked up for when the weather gets nicer. Crocodile Cloth Grill is made for grillers, outdoor entertaining, all of it. They're tough cloths. 10-inch by 15-inch. They stay wet a long time. They're going to power through any of that caked-on grease and food. Crocodile Cloth can clean your cooler, your outdoor furniture, and anything that gets messy at the tailgate or cookout. So go to crocodilecloth.com/football show. Check out a tailgate bundle and a free gift. As they say at Crocodile Cloth, go ahead, get messy.
All right. Go ahead, get messy. Get the Eagles and Lions. Nothing drawn out. Enjoy it, people. You die to playing games like this. Just relax. You'll be fine either way. For Jim Costa, I'm Mike. We'll talk to everybody tomorrow. You're going to be